Hi, I'm Dave Dio from Arcom Digital, and I want to show you how to replace an FSK module in a XCOR RUA radar unit. This is the FSK Transceiver Board. It's very small, and if you look on the bottom there are some pins and a label. Each one of these boards are labeled. This one happens to be FM1, it's 80 to 92.95 megahertz. This one is FM0, 75 to 80 megahertz. Here's an FM2, 93 to 118 megahertz, and here's an RF board, 490 to 590 megahertz. To change an FSK board, you'll need two tools, a Phillips screwdriver and a small flat blade screwdriver. Start by removing the 4 Phillips screws and washers on the back top panel. You can see I've already done this. Now you can slide the back panel out. It may be a little difficult. If it is, you can just slightly bend the top panel and pull it right off. The FSK board is mounted on the back of this 2101 circuit board right there. And I'm just going to use a flat blade screwdriver very carefully. I'm not going to touch any components on the circuit board. I am going to just insert it between the bottom of the FSK board and the top of this 2101 board and just give it a little twist. Come over to the other side and I will do the same thing. This is very important because as you pull these out you could bend the pins and it's just a little more difficult to get it back into the chassis once you're ready to do so. So, looks like that's fairly loose. Now I can just wiggle, pull it out. This one's an FM1 board. And in this case I'm going to install an FM2 board. Now you can see that there are sockets on the bottom of this 2101 board and pins that will line up with the sockets. Very carefully set this board over the sockets so the pins line up and give it a push. It should go in with a little bit of resistance. To reinstall the top cover you can slide it in, or if it was a little bit difficult coming out you can give it a little bit of a bend and it'll snap right in. Then you can push it all the way up. There's a little valley underneath the ridge on this top faceplate. You want to make sure that your top panel is far enough forward so that this leading edge is setting into the valley, so when you're pressing down on the top it's not going to fall down into the chassis. Now just replace your 4 screws and you're back in operation.